MSW Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. Today, the House has voted 427-1 to release the Epstein Files after the survivors held their press conference. A federal court has blocked Texas from using its new congressional gerrymandering maps in the 2026 midterms. An appeals court has upheld tossing out Trump's lawsuit against CNN. A FEMA chief, David Richardson, has resigned in disgrace. The Trump administration has deported Ukrainians despite fears of conscription. The White House intervened to help accused rapist and sex trafficker Andrew Tate. Trump is hosting the murderer of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Oval Office, and a district judge has ordered briefing on the Comey grand jury materials. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg.
Hey, Dana, happy Wednesday. We made it halfway through.
You did. You got your taint. I know you were looking forward to the taint of the week, and it is here for you.
You were looking for the taint.
You were looking forward to it. You told me so. Everyone heard it.
I need a shirt that says looking for the taint. Oh, my goodness. This has been a pretty eventful week, to say the least. The House just voted 427-1. Clay Higgins is the one Republican that voted no.
Clay Higgins has made some really unquestionable decisions throughout his career, so this doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Louisiana, come get your boy. And then Chuck Schumer got unanimous consent in the Senate. So as soon as the bill arrived, it was automatically passed, and now it'll go on to Trump's desk for signature. I'm sure he'll sign it now that he's on the side of releasing the Epstein Files, because he knows the language in the bill says the files can't be released if they're part of an open and ongoing investigation. Odd that that language has to be put in there, even though that's just the regular rule that should be followed. Unless you've opened a sham investigation in order to keep the files from coming out.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, these assholes.
Yeah, totally. How are you feeling? Are you better? I know you went to the dentist yesterday.
Oh,
are you doing better?
I've been such a mess the last 2 weeks. I really appreciate the listeners and you for just being like, I got your back. But I feel great today. Other than the stress of life, I'm feeling much better.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Stress of life's kind of always there as a default position, right?
My God, yeah.
I have an update in the Comey grand jury stuff. You remember we talked about this on Beans Talk, which is our new video podcast companion to this audio podcast. We're going to launch it to the public December 1st. You can become a patron to get in on the ground floor and help us develop that show by going to patreon.com/thedailybeans. But we talked about the Comey thing, about how they didn't get a warrant to get, the materials that were the core of the thing. And she gave a bunch of misrepresentations about the Constitution in the grand jury materials. And the magistrate Judge Fitzpatrick ordered, after giving particularized grounds, which was demanded by the Department of Justice, ordered those transcripts and tapes of the grand jury proceedings in the Comey case to be handed over to Jim Comey himself. It's really rare that you do that, but when there's a likelihood of malfeasance in the grand jury, a judge can do that. But Judge Nachmanoff, who's the federal district judge that's overseeing this case, has said, press pause on that for a minute. I want briefing. I want briefing from the government. I'd like a reply to the government's response, and I want that all done by November 21st. So that's just 2 days from now.
Yeah.
But it's on pause right now. So we're going to hear the arguments. I think that this judge really wants to, he's like, we're going to throw this fucking thing out. So I want to make sure that we wrap up every loose end and make sure that I do my due diligence so that I'm not overturned on appeal. So he's going to make sure that he gets briefing on this matter before he orders the Department of Justice to hand over all of those grand jury materials to Comey.
Nice. This is my little monkey mind. I don't know if anyone else listening to that, when you said Judge Manoff heard the Muppets. Manoff.
Oh, Manoff.
Manoff. Do.
Manoff. Yeah.
All right.
That's
A Tennessee judge on Monday blocked the use of the National Guard in Memphis, Tennessee, under a crime-fighting operation by Trump. but also put the order on hold, giving the government 5 days to appeal that. So I'm sure that they will. We've had some interesting wins. We're going to talk about this in some of the hot notes, but there's been some wins around this country that were surprising. This is one of them.
Yeah, agreed. We've got another big court win, like you said, we're going to talk about. But we're going to do that right now in the hot notes. Hot notes. All right, first up from The Guardian, Donald Trump has shrugged off the Saudi regime's 2018 murder of the Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, saying the journalist was extremely controversial and unpopular.
This whole exchange was disgusting, by the way.
I mean, you might as well have said he was dressed for it. Did you see what he was wearing? I mean, It was awful.
Yeah.
It was and he yelled at some more journalists. We'll get into it. But the U.S. president made the remarks at the White House Tuesday while rolling out the red carpet for Mohammed Bonesaw, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, for the first time since Khashoggi's murder and dismemberment in Istanbul by Saudi state operatives. U.S. intelligence agencies made formal assessments that the prince had ordered the killing, but Trump insisted Tuesday that he knew nothing about it, once again going against our intelligence community in favor of a dictator like he did in Helsinki with Putin.
Yeah.
Now, Trump castigated the ABC News journalist who asked a question about the murder, suggesting that ABC should lose its broadcasting license and describing Khashoggi as extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about, whether you don't like him or didn't like him or if you like him. Things happened, but he knew nothing about it. That's what Trump said, referring to the Crown Prince. Prince Mohammed said, "It's painful and a huge mistake, and we're doing our best that it doesn't happen again." A mistake? You just accidentally fell into him with a bone saw?
Yeah. And we're doing our best to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right. Apparently not a zero tolerance policy for dismembering journalists in the Saudi regime.
Trump also said to the journalist, "You're being very rude to our guest." He's a disgusting human being.
He's a pig. Alongside weapons sales, U.S. officials say the administration was expecting a multi-billion-dollar Saudi investment in America's AI industry and deeper cooperation in establishing a civil nuclear power industry in Saudi Arabia. At one point, Donald Trump said they're going to give us $1 trillion, but the entire GDP of Saudi Arabia is $1.1 trillion. So no. Get this, Variety magazine actually reported in a related story that the Ellison family, which owns 100% of voting control in Paramount Skydance now, was putting together a $71 billion bid for Warner Brothers in conjunction with funds from 3 Arab countries: Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the Qatari Investment Authority, QIA, and the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. Paramount Skydance is denying that, but we'll see exactly how this merger is funded.
Yeah, they have been trying very hard, and it sort of goes back to that comedy festival, to rebrand themselves as someone, a government that supports diversity and is into the arts. And so this investment in that gives them a lot of control over some of these things. And it looks like they're involved in these incredible, projects, these
including
movies
CNN.
And things like that. Yeah.
Right. And the Live golf tournament, if you think about it.
Yeah. All of this stuff is connected. And it all, Jared Kushner's hands are all over it. So is his father's.
Yeah. And Dana, it goes back to actually, you remember David Pecker from The Inquirer?
Yeah, of course.
When we had an episode on Mueller, She Wrote called Trump's Pecker Leaks.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. He put out a big, shiny, glossy, full magazine edition about the new crown princes in the Middle East and how amazing and wonderful they are. So yeah. Trump's been trying to shine them up for quite a while.
Yeah, so gross. Oh, so this one's from the Times. David Richardson has resigned as acting administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, injecting even greater uncertainty into Trump administration's plans to overhaul the federal role in disaster response. Karen Evans, who's a senior political appointee at FEMA, who earlier this year led an overhaul of the federal Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, will take over as acting FEMA administrator. This is on December 1st. That's according to the Homeland Security Department, which oversees both of those agencies. Ms. Evans, like Mr. Richardson, lacks experience. What? They put someone in charge that doesn't have experience in the role they're going into? Say it ain't so. Yep. No experience in emergency management, which is a legal requirement to lead FEMA. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I know. It's interesting that it's a legal requirement, though. Ms. Evans has played a central role in the Trump administration's efforts to cut costs to FEMA, according to 3 people briefed on the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity, because obviously they were not authorized to talk about this. Earlier this year, she rejected many FEMA spending requests before they could reach the desk of Homeland Security Secretary puppy killer Kristi Noem, who has imposed a requirement that she personally approve any expense over $100,000 unless it's a jet for her to just pop around in, or for, I don't know, the FBI director to go see his girlfriend. This is obviously from other people that are familiar with this. After Mr. Richardson joined FEMA, some of his employees expressed concern about his lack of experience. He told employees in June that he did not know the United States had a hurricane season. A comment that unnerved FEMA employees who heard it. Yeah. The agency letter said Mr. Richardson was he's just joking. He's joking. Mr. Richardson had told colleagues that he planned to leave the agency by the end of the year, according to 2 people familiar with his comments who spoke on, again, the condition of anonymity. Mr. Richardson resigned Monday because officials in the White House and the Homeland Security Department were considering forcing him out of the job. Maybe because he knew too much about... Now, well,
once he learned that
hurricane season, they're like, wait, you know about hurricane season? He's got to go. Mr. Richardson had faced criticism from both Republicans and Democrats over his lack of responsiveness following the July 4th floods in Texas Hill Country, after the Washington Post reported that he had been unreachable in the initial hours after the disaster. He was probably looking up what hurricane season means. In a statement responding to Mr. Richardson's resignation, Representative Frank Pallone, he's a Democrat of New Jersey, he said, and I quote, "Good riddance."
Yeah, don't let the door hit you, hurricane season.
Seriously.
Get the fuck
I
out.
didn't know the United States had a hurricane season.
Oh, I'm kidding.
It's changing because of climate change, so I guess there's something with that. Now it's starting to get longer and longer.
Yeah, well, next up from ProPublica, just doing some incredible reporting. Online influencer Andrew Tate, self-described misogynist who has millions of young male followers, was facing allegations of sex trafficking women in 3 countries. 3 countries. When he and his brother left their home in Romania to visit the United States. Quote, "The Tates will be free. Trump is the president. The good old days are back." That's what Tate put on Twitter before the trip in February. One of many times he sung the praises of Donald Trump. Now, when the Tate brothers arrived by private plane in Fort Lauderdale, they immediately found themselves in the crosshairs of law enforcement once more, as Customs and Border Protection officials seized their electronic devices.
That's awesome.
This time they had a powerful ally come to their aid.
That's not awesome.
Behind the scenes, the White House intervened on their behalf.
Motherfuckers.
Interviews and records reviewed by ProPublica show a White House official told senior Department of Homeland Security officials to return the devices to the brothers several days after they were seized. The official who delivered the message, Paul Ingracia, is a lawyer who previously represented the Tate brothers before joining the White House, where he was working as its DHS liaison. In his written request, copy of which was reviewed by ProPublica, they've got the receipts. Ingracia chided authorities for taking the action in the first place, saying the seizure of Tate's devices was not a good use of our time or resources. The request to return the electronics to the Tates, he emphasized, was coming from the White House. Ingracia's intervention on behalf of Tate and his brother Tristan caused alarm among DHS officials that they could be interfering with a federal investigation if they followed through with the instruction to give the stuff back. That's according to interviews and screenshots of contemporaneous communications between officials. More receipts. Trump had nominated Ingracia to lead the Office of Special Counsel. That was once held by Hampton Dellinger before Trump fired him. But the 30-year-old, he's 30?
Wow.
The 30-year-old lawyer's chances for Senate confirmation imploded after Politico reported he sent a string of racist text messages to fellow Republicans and described himself as having a Nazi streak. Halsick, his lawyer, raised doubts about the authenticity of those text messages. But he said even if they are authentic, they clearly read as self-deprecating and satirical humor.
Wow.
Just a joke, like, wow. I didn't know there was a hurricane season.
All right, I'm just going to keep moving on. This one's from the Post. The Trump administration is preparing to deport some Ukrainians with final orders of removal back to their war-ravaged homeland as the government seeks to ramp up deportations and Ukraine moves to tighten its relationship with Washington. The Justice Department said in a court filing Wednesday that the government has plans to deport Roman Saratsev. He's 41, back to Ukraine as early as Monday. His attorney said it appears that immigration and customs enforcement may be attempting to remove a significant number of Ukrainian nationals and that other detainees are being told that they will be removed via military flights to Ukraine or Poland on Monday. Under international treaties, officials are not supposed to send people to countries where they could be persecuted or tortured. Even hardened criminals are supposed to be protected from torture. But advocates say the Trump administration is pushing the boundaries, of course they are, or breaking them, if I would say, of those principles by trying to send people with criminal records to countries such as South Sudan, which has been on the brink of civil war, and now Ukraine.
Yeah. And to be clear here, The Guardian isn't saying that the Ukrainians will torture these Ukrainians.
Them, yeah.
Right. It's just that it's a war-torn country and they shouldn't have been sent back. We got confirmation from one of those flight trackers online that flight did take off on Monday and went back to Ukraine. Next up from Politico, a federal appeals court panel rejected an effort by Trump to revive a meritless lawsuit against CNN for the network's use of the term big lie to describe Trump's false claims of fraud in the 2020 election. I can lie, but you can't lie. The 3-judge appeals panel, which includes 2 of Trump's own appointees, ruled on Tuesday that CNN's use of the phrase big lie, often associated with Adolf Hitler, amounted to First Amendment protected opinion. Quote, Trump's argument hinges on the facts that his own interpretation of his conduct, i.e. that he was exercising a constitutional right to identify his concerns with the integrity of elections, is true, and that CNN's interpretation, i.e. that Trump was peddling his big lie, is false. That's what the unanimous 11th Circuit Court of Appeals panel concluded. However, his conduct is susceptible to multiple subjective interpretations, including CNN's.
Oh, boy.
The appeals court concluded that a network's description could not sustain a defamation lawsuit because the statement didn't amount to a factual assertion. CNN's subjective assessment of Trump's conduct is not readily capable of being proven true or false. That's what Obama appointee Adalberto Jordan wrote, along with Trump appointees Kevin Newsom and Elizabeth Branch. Trump could ask the full bench en banc of the 11th Circuit to rehear the case or appeal it straight to the Supreme Court. A spokesperson for Trump's legal team signaled that the president would appeal, saying he, quote, will pursue this case against CNN to its just and deserved conclusion. Yeah, well, if it's tossed out, that is just and deserved.
Absolutely. And this is a little bit of the good news I was telling you about since everything's just upside down. This is from the Texas Tribune. Texas is not going to be allowed to use its new congressional map for the 2026 election. Will instead need to stick with the lines passed in 2021. This is a 3-judge panel. That's what they ruled on Tuesday. Why? Because they did not follow their constitution and the legislature like California did. I would be shocked if they overturn California because we voted on it.
Maybe, yeah.
Now, the public, and this is a quote, the public perception of this case is that it's about politics. That's U.S. Judge Jeffrey Brown, a Trump appointee, everybody. That's what they wrote in a ruling. To be sure, politics played a role in drawing the 2025 map, but it was much more than just politics. Substantial evidence shows that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map. This is a Trump appointee.
Appointee, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't even mince words. It's racially motivated. Brown ordered that the 2026 congressional election shall proceed under the map that the Texas legislature enacted in 2021. The case will likely be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, but time is short. Candidates only have until December 8th to file for the upcoming election. The decision is a major blow for Republicans in Texas and nationally who pushed through the unusual mid-decade redistricting at the behest of Trump. They were hoping the new maps would yield control of 30 of the state's 38 congressional districts, up from the 25 that they currently hold. And I don't even think those are fucking safe at this point, by the way, and help protect the narrow GOP majority in the U.S. House. The map cleared the GOP-controlled legislature in August and was quickly signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott. Several advocacy groups sued over the new district lines, saying lawmakers intentionally diluted the voting power of Black and Hispanic Texans and drew racially gerrymandered maps. Over the course of a 9-day hearing in El Paso earlier this month, they aimed to convince the judges that it was in the voters' best interest to shelve the map until a full trial could be held. It was not immediately clear if the state still has a legal path to restoring the new map in time for 2026. Unlike most federal lawsuits, which are heard by a single district judge and then appealed by a circuit court, voting rights lawsuits are initially heard by 2 district judges and 1 circuit judge, and their ruling can only be appealed directly to the Supreme Court. Tuesday's decision came from a 3-judge panel made up of Brown. We also have U.S. District Judge David Guadarrama. He's a Barack Obama appointee, and Judge Jerry Smith, who was appointed to the 5th U.S. District Court of Appeals by Ronald Reagan. He's been there a while. The ruling comes 10 days into the month-long period when candidates can sign up for the March primary. And obviously, different candidates are going to sign up if they think they have a better chance of winning in certain districts. So this will be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and you can't once the candidate deadline to sign up has passed, you can't change the district.
Right.
You can't. So, but like you said, because this is a special voting rights thing, it gets ruled on by 2 district judges and a circuit judge. Ron DeSantis, in his eternal dumbness, said, they're going to appeal this, not we, because he's Florida, but they're like, right. I bet that Trump's going to appeal this to the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals and it's going to get shot down. It doesn't go to the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals. It has to go straight to the Supreme Court. So thanks for your little
Although
bit.
They are doing those in the middle of the night dockets and giving them everything they seem to want. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that this doesn't happen.
Well, we'll see. Because if the Supreme Court allows this, they allow ours.
100%.
And they would allow Virginia's and Maryland's and Chicago's or Illinois' if Illinois does it. So either everyone's allowed to do it or no one's allowed to do it. But if the Supreme Court decides no one's allowed to do it, you're right. California is an outlier because we got consent of the voters first. So we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, we're going to have your good trouble right at the top of the good news, which we will get to right after this quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, holiday hosting just got easier with HomeChef and Gordon Ramsay. I open the box, follow the instructions, and a plate of food that tastes amazing is ready in no time. 5-star flavor, stress-free steps, 0 wasted time. Between school nights and deadlines, I can cook confidently and have energy to enjoy the evening. I recently tried their sweet potato casserole. It was delicious, comfort food for the cold nights that we're having now. It was easy to make, only had a few ingredients and easy to follow instructions. It was restaurant quality with minimal effort. That's exactly what I'm looking for. HomeChef is rated #1 by users of their meal kits for quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. And for a limited time, HomeChef is offering you 50% off and free shipping on your first box, plus free dessert for life. Just go to homechef.com/dailybeans. So HomeChef delivers fresh food and straightforward instructions, so dinner feels achievable, even on busy nights, and they're all busy, let's be honest. They have over 30 weekly options, so you can tailor your meals to your diet and cravings without repeating the same dish over and over again. And when you want restaurant polish and taste, choose Gordon Ramsay's co-branded dishes featured across the Culinary Collection, classic meal kits, and express offerings. The recipes are engineered to help you cook with confidence, from searing to saucing. Ingredients arrive pre-portioned and labeled. Timelines make sense. It's so easy, and the results taste like you mean it. Sit down on time, enjoy real flavor, and keep weeknights moving without the panic. And like I said, with over 30 meal options each week, there's something for everyone, no matter what. So for a limited time, HomeChef is offering you 50% off and free shipping on your first box, plus free dessert for life. Just go to homechef.com/dailybeans. That's homechef.com/dailybeans for 50% off your first box and free dessert for life. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. Everybody, welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Who likes good news, everyone? Then good news, everyone.
And if you have any good news, confessions, corrections, especially pronunciation corrections, you want to send us your favorite joke, maybe some misheard song lyrics that you that you have been mishearing your whole life until recently. If you have any good trouble ideas, we would love to hear that. We love shout outs, whether it's to yourself, because we love a good self shout out, or a loved one, or a government program that's helped you or a family member or somebody that you know. We'd like to hear about that. A small business in your area that could use a boost, or a great nonprofit or a food bank that could use some help. We want to hear about all of it, no matter what your good news is. It could be small or big. It can be from yesterday or from 30 years ago. Send it in to us. And all you got to do to get your good news read on the air is pay your pod pet tariff, which means attach a photo of your pet. If you don't have a pet, send an adoptable pet in your area. If you don't have that, just send any random photo. It really doesn't matter. We take anything.
We'll take it.
We love baby pictures, animal photos, baby animal photos. Show us what you dressed up for, and you and your family and friends show us your Halloween costumes this year. Maybe some awkward family photos, holiday photos, photos of what you're making and creating to pass the time until the midterms. It could be, what you're knitting, crocheting, quilting. We have so many amazing makers and creators that just do such amazing things here that listen to this podcast. Send it to us, dailybeanspod.com, and click on contact. First up is your good trouble. And your good trouble today, call your House representatives about the provision in the continuing resolution that would give Lindsay Graham money for being a seditionist weasel. This is the provision that allows these 8 senators and beyond to sue for at least $500,000 for having their phone records searched because they're criminals or hanging out with criminals. And here's a little script that we got. I'm calling to demand that the Congress member support H.R. 6019 to repeal the provision in the recent spending bill that allows senators to sue the government for investigating their phone records. Giving a handful of senators an unfair advantage at the expense of taxpayers is unacceptable and should never have been part of the legislation. So since we couldn't get that provision taken out in the amendments, we have to pass a separate bill to do it. So give them a call. Get that 5 calls app and start calling.
Let's do it.
All right. It's a pretty easy good trouble, but it's so very important that we just don't let them steal our tax dollars and loot the Treasury.
Yep. All right. This one's from Julia. She's kicking it off. Good news. She and her. Hello, Queen Beanies. I'm one of your listeners who thinks a lot about writing in, but then doesn't. However, my friends, today is the day. I'm a former public school teacher earning my second master's in social work. I participate in a cohort with other students through an internship. As our semester nears to an end, our supervisor brought us all together to debrief on what we learned. What an amazing group of humans. So much diversity, knowledge, experience, and passion for making a difference. During the course of our discussion, one of our colleagues mentioned some outreach that I really had to share. Transanta.com. I've never heard of the organization, but once I did, I knew the Leguminati had to know about it too. We're going to put the link in the show notes, but it's TRANSanta.com. It allows you to pick something off a wish list, or 10 things if you'd like to do, you, from a host of submissions from trans people, mostly young adults who don't have the means or loving family to take care of them at the holidays. I'm going to lose my shit. I can't believe I didn't know this existed. This is awesome. As painful as it is that their wish lists go through the asshole Jeff site, the
Bezos, Amazon, right?
Oh, got it. The opportunity to bring some joy to a trans person this season is pretty impactful. They're asking for a wide variety of items, which include, but are certainly not limited to, gender-affirming gifts to help them present as the person that they were meant to be. From the Transanta website, Transanta is a mutual aid project that connects anonymous gift givers with trans youth who are unhoused, in foster care, or otherwise without crucial support they need to thrive. This is fucking incredible. I know many of us are struggling in this bullshit economy, and maybe we don't have a lot of extra, but I also know that some of your listeners are some of the most open, gracious, and giving humans on earth. So if you can, do your thing. For my pod pet tax, I'm including some pics of my cuties. Oscar's the kitty, 12 years old. I snagged him from a friend who already had a menagerie. This beautiful boy fit in the palm of my hand. Now he's quite the big boy, but about a quarter lighter these days. He broke his leg. We have no idea how, and had to have it removed. When he's not hopping around giving us the stink eye, he's quite the lovable guy. No cuddling, but he knows whose laps are his, as do we. Lucy, a.k.a. Lucifer, a.k.a. not a good girl, is the pooch. This is you are not a good girl. This is a throwback to a past Halloween. I'm sure you can tell how thrilled she is about wearing that hat. I found the tick-ridden parvo baby wandering my high school campus 10 years ago. And not only did she survive, but now she's glued to my side and licking the ankles of everyone who comes over to visit. Her breed? Reindeer? I don't know. So happy holidays. Yeah, I meant that. You fascist fake Christian cucks. To everyone, except for Trump's administration and ICE and the 6 shits on the Supreme Court and anyone else who thinks hurting people makes America awesome. Fuck them. Nice job,
Great
Julia.
Submission. That's a great submission. I wish you'd written in sooner, Julia. That's so
I know.
good.
Love the whole thing.
Cat's adorable. I call this a Ned cat. These tabbies that are like white, like have white and then tabby like parts to them, because I had a cat named Ned who was this type of cat, and he also had a freckle on his nose. So that's a beautiful Ned cat you've got there. Look at this dog, Lucifer.
So cute.
So great. Thank you for that submission. Next up from Marty, pronoun she and her. Greetings, Beans. On today's show, you mentioned a comedian who has a food drive for his shows. Charlie Behrens is a Wisconsin comedian. I just watched a stand-up special he had, after which he auctioned off items for various philanthropic organizations in the Milwaukee area. He also has amazing videos ripping apart data centers. You can find him on YouTube. Thanks for being there for us. I so appreciate all the hard work you put into each show. Submitted a picture of our boy Django, who loves his Kong. Love from Marty. Look at this dog. It's so adorable.
Baby.
All right, Charlie Behrens from Wisconsin.
It's a great shot.
Check him out.
Thanks so much, AG. All right, this is Laura, pronoun she and her. Hi, regarding Christmas wrapping ideas, if you're even 1% artistic and can find a local fabric shop, get cotton prints in all patterns and colors by the meter. Cut it up like large, medium, and small squares. Nothing else needed. But definitely put a book or box in when cutting out to see how much you'll need for your average present, or plan to cut it out while you're wrapping so you have the right sizes. If you are above 50% crafty, cut the fabric with pinky shears. For extra longevity, plan to sew the edges in July, not Christmas Eve. Tie it with ribbon. Yes, satin kind, so you can reuse them. My mom has been doing this for years and even cross-stitch our names for little gift tags. This is the crafty bonus points. At the end of the present opening, we sort the fabric and give it back to the owners. No pets, but not missing much given all the wildlife all around. Here are some turkeys on my driveway right before Canadian Thanksgiving. They have safe haven at our place as we're all vegetarian.
Look at the turkeys.
Cute.
That's a cool idea, Laura. Thank you for that.
That is a great idea.
Next up from Anonymous. Hello, Beans Queens. I've been so angry and frustrated since the 2024 election, but continuing listening to your show has helped me find the light breaking through the orange cloud. The fact that you tell the truth, break things down for us in terms we can all understand, and of course, the fact that you share it all with swearing makes the chaos more palatable. For my good news, I wanted to share that my husband, a born and bred Midwestern Republican who then became an independent, is now an outspoken Democrat.
Nice.
He never voted for Trump, but was silent about it until the last election. Now he proudly posts and speaks of the importance of democracy and how America is no place for authoritarianism. I bet there's just so many millions of people like him, you know?
Yeah.
He has lost friends and relatives over his beliefs, but he stands firm. Having a daughter and daughter-in-law in the LGBTQ plus community and having friends with trans sons has really opened his eyes to the injustice of the Republican Party. Having been riddled with medical debt for years from cancer treatments for our son has made him a believer in the need for universal health care. There are so many other reasons as well. Yes, it took personal life experience for him to see the GOP doesn't care about him to begin the change, but it was his education on politics and listening to me repeat what I heard on the Daily Beans over the last 7+ years that really made a difference. Education is truly the key to democracy. Hear, hear. In response to a letter about what to do about wrapping paper, have your listeners check out Giftiply at giftiply.com for wrapping paper that supports nonprofits that support cancer research and childhood cancer efforts, the LGBTQ plus community, bullying, suicide prevention, and wildlife preservation. That's Giftiply, Giftiply. We'll have a link in the show notes. What a great thing to do. That's amazing. Thank you. Look at these doggos. Oh, we got breeds.
The white one looks like a Yorkie poo.
Yep. And the greyhound,
Yeah.
I think. The greyhound wasn't watching this time.
No, the greyhound was definitely an active participant in this dog. And
Terrier Schnauzer?
yeah, what you got?
All right, let's see. Jazz the greyhound.
Okay.
Aussie Doodle.
Oh,
It's
not
an
a
Aussie
Yorkie poo.
Doodle.
It's an Aussie
And
poo.
oh no, the Yorkie poo is a Havanese, a Havanese mix.
Oh,
The one I thought was a Schnauzer is the Aussie Doodle.
Got it.
Adorable dogs. What a great little menagerie you have going on there.
Very
Thank you so
cute.
much, Anonymous.
All right. Judith, pronoun she and they. Good morning, people of the beans. Listening this morning, Tuesday, I heard a submission about alternatives to wrapping paper. When I need to wrap a gift, I use cloth. Old clothes can be cut to size. Bandanas and scarves make lovely wrapping. I do crochet and will whip up a small drawstring bag for little gifts. Buy holiday print cloth for cheap off-season at the local fabric store. I don't have a photo of this, but a quick search will bring up many ideas. My podcast, wow, Dana, my podcast tariff. That's because that's not my fault. That's a new one. My podcast tariff is a photo of Frisco, the American bully. I am dog sitting. She's a joy. Thank you for all you do. Look how cute a picture.
I love this dog. I wish
That's
I could
awesome.
sleep that soundly. So great. Another vote for cloth, for using cloth. Next up, Will in Virginia, pronouns he and him. Hello, queens of the beans. My shout out is to my daughter, Sophie, the most empathetic person I know. She started college a couple months ago and has already established a branch of Morgan's Message, an organization that strives to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health within the student athlete community and equalize the treatment of physical and mental health in athletics. She volunteers at a community farm that helps provide fresh veggies to the underprivileged in the greater DC area. She recruited 7 friends to help distribute flyers at a school board election last year and spent 8 hours in the sun as a junior in high school. I'm not sure where she found the time to gain membership in 3 honor societies and finish high school with a 4.18 GPA, but she did. Attached, please find 2 pictures. One of us planting things at JK Community Farms in Purcellville, Virginia, and another of us blatantly not hiding our political leanings in downtown DC. I could not possibly be more proud of my little activist. Congratulations, Sophie. Look at this.
Oh, man.
Oh, she
That's
reminds
awesome.
me of Jordan Coburn a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so great. Oh, what a great group of good newsers. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sending all that in.
This is a good episode.
I'm definitely going to check out Trans Santa. I didn't
heck
know
yeah.
about that either.
Me either.
That's amazing. Everybody, if you have good news, please send it to us, dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. If you'd like to join us and support us financially, it's all these shows are free, but if you want to do that, you can do that at patreon.com/thedailybeans. We appreciate all of you listening regardless. So thank you very, very much. Do you have any final thoughts today, my friend?
No, I do not.
All right. We'll be back in yours tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. I've been AG.
I've been DG.
And them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.